Hi guys, welcome back. This is Erin from Paint Those Piggies, and this is part 2 of my mega empties video. Like I mentioned in my last video, which was more like body care, shampoo kind of items, these are empties from like the beginning of the year, so long overdue. Even though I wasn't filming videos, I still saved my empties, which is kind of weird, but I did it anyways. So let's get right into part 2. I am going to start with acetone. I didn't paint my nails that much at the beginning of the year, but now that I have been, I've just been like going through acetone like I'm drinking it. Like, this is so much acetone. I did find some at TJ Maxx, but it was actually cheaper at my local like Meijer, so I've just been getting it there. I do need to go to Sally's and just like get the big bottle of it, but this is what I've been using. I use 100% acetone because it is so much easier than nail polish remover. I can't even use nail polish remover anymore, so that is what I use to, I almost just smacked myself in the face. That is what I use to take my nail polish off. We're just going to keep going in the order that I grab stuff in. So the next thing I have is a makeup item. This is the Maybelline Fit Me powder, and this is the matte and poreless for normal to oily skin. This is a darker color than I normally use, but I used it during the summer. This is 120 Classic Ivory, and you can kind of see, oh, there's a sponge I've never used. I didn't even know there was a mirror in there. You can kind of see like the very edges of it, but it's like one shade darker than my normal. But this has been my favorite powder recently. I like it more than the Rimmel Stay Matte now that I've really used them both a bunch. And so I'm really digging this. I need to repurchase it, but I'm in the lighter shade now, which I have a little bit left of. So that's pretty good for finishing up a makeup item. Next up, I have some makeup wipes that I absolutely hated. I can't stand these. These are the Clean and Clear Makeup Dissolving Facial Cleansing Wipes. First of all, the packaging is terrible. This little thing always stayed like this, like the closure. So I always had to store it upside down so it was squashed down. And that doesn't make sense because the wipes dry out. But the wipes themselves like stung my eyes so bad. And they felt greasy. So they left like a greasy residue on my face afterwards, which I hate. So these not gonna be a repurchase for me. Next up, I have 2 of the deodorants I talked about in the last video. I have 2 more, and I didn't remember exactly what they were called, but these are the Secret Clinical Strength in Invisible Solid, and you can see that I've used up a bunch of these. There's not a ton of product in them, but you don't need a ton of product to put on because it works that well. And so I just use clinical strength deodorant now. It's what works best for me, but these solid kind I really like better than the kind of push up gel kind, and these you can find at Sam's Club, or at least my Sam's Club, which makes them a lot cheaper. Next up, I have one of my Clarisonic brush heads. I went through a long phase of not using my Clarisonic because my skin was freaking out. I had like a rash all on the side of one of my cheeks, and so if I did use my Clarisonic, this is the head I used for it. This is the actually there's a different head on it. So this is the Clarisonic Luxe Cashmere Cleanse. That's what I have on there right now, but in it is the acne one. So I actually used up the acne one. This is probably my least favorite of the brush heads. I do have a bunch of them. I bought them in like a Nordstrom anniversary sale. There's like the Luxe one, there's a Radiance one. Let's see what they are. Cashmere Cleanse, Radiance. This one is the Deep Pore, and then the one with the black in the middle is the Sensitive. So the blue, which is the one I have, is the Deep Pore. I've talked about it before, but I just don't care for it, and this one I used a lot. So I just don't think it like cleans out my pores that well. I use the Luxe, the Cashmere Cleanse one right now, and it does just as good of a job, except it's really gentle. I don't know if there's a difference because my skin has aged or I mean, I've aged, but I don't know if that's maybe the difference, but I do have very sensitive skin, and the deep pore one just doesn't do it for me. Next up, I have a couple more body products. I do have 2 toothpastes, which I always include, but the first one is the Sensodyne Repair and Protect. I've really been liking Sensodyne. It's what I've been using recently. I have one in the bathroom right now, so I do have sensitive teeth, I have sensitive skin, I have lots of allergies, so I'm just one of those people. So I have been using the Sensodyne and I really like it. I had originally gotten like samples from my dentist, and it does make a difference in my tooth sensitivity. So that's probably what I'm going to be buying from now on. Next up is the, oh, another one of these, this Crest Deep Clean Whitening. I hated this. Obviously my husband used it too, because I would have never pushed this much toothpaste out of it or worked that hard for this, but I did not like this. It just didn't foam whatsoever, and I need a foaming toothpaste. It's what I like. Next up, I have the L'Oreal Evercream Sulfate-Free Nourishing Conditioner, and this conditioner was super, super thick, but I actually really liked it. I mentioned before that I have really fine, oily hair, and so I don't normally use really thick conditioners, but this one was very thick, and I loved it. I would definitely repurchase this because I liked it that much. Next up, I have an EOS lip balm. These are not my favorite lip balms. I honestly prefer just like chapstick, but this one went bad. It smells funny. This is the, and I've like used none of it. Like this is the coconut milk one, and I hated it. It was not moisturizing whatsoever, which is why I never used it. And now that it's bad, obviously I'm not going to use it, but I definitely would not repurchase these EOS balms again. I just prefer chapstick, honestly. Next up, I have one of my favorites. I used this from my L'Occitane Advent Calendar, and this is the L'Occitane the Vert. I don't know French, but it's like an earthy body wash, and normally I'm not like an herbally, earthy, citrusy kind of person, but this smells so good to me. I used up the hand cream as well, and this kind of has like an earthy, a little bit citrusy note to it, and I really, really enjoyed it. It doesn't foam as much as I would like it to, but I still liked it. Next up is another face wash, and I now understand the hype between Purity Made Simple face wash. There's cat hair all over everything, and I'm dropping everything. I don't remember where I got this little sample from. It's probably like an add-on that I got from Sephora, but I loved this. I loved it so much with my Clarisonic. I loved it on its own. I probably need to pick up a bottle of it during the Sephora sale. I think it's in November, but I love this. I completely understand the hype. It is so gentle, but also very cleansing. Totally understand it now. Next up is something that I finally used up. It took me forever, and this is the Stila One Step Correct. It's kind of the like triple helix, green, white, and pinkish peach color. It's not really a primer. It's supposed to be like you put it under your makeup to correct your face, and I liked it when I started using it, but then once I got kind of like halfway, 3/4, I didn't like it anymore because I didn't think it was doing anything to my skin. But then once I got to the end of this little guy, I realized that it kind of just moisturizes my skin, and I have very oily skin, so I tend to stay away from moisturizers, which I know is wrong, but I don't want to make my face greasier than it already is going to be. So I would put this on, and it kind of refreshed my face and just not really evened everything out, but just kind of made a good base for makeup. So I talked about how much I didn't like it, but then towards the end I started liking it again. So I don't know if I'm going to pick up another one of these. I'll probably think about it, but I did like it. Last up, I have a nail product and a mascara. This is the Hourglass Film Noir Mascara. It's a little baby sample of it. this did not do anything for me. It's kind of a thin little brush, and I didn't really get much volume from this, which is what I'm looking for. I don't really like lengthening mascaras, which is what I'm considering this. I don't know for sure, but that's what I think it is, and it just didn't do anything for me. I would have to do coat upon coat of it to even get my lashes where I like them, so not a winner for me in the mascara department. And then last up is one of my favorite cuticle oils. This is OPI Avoplex Cuticle Oil to Go, and I did recently show a bottle of this in a haul that I did because I couldn't find this like convenient squeezy tube. It has like a brush applicator on the end of it, which is what I really liked. It is super easy to just go around the nail, and this sucker is empty. I love this nail oil. So that is it for my Empties Part 2. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye.